Welcome everybody, Steve here. Now in my last video, I built these little boxes that we use for camping. They're little serving trays, I guess you want to call it that. But you can tow it around anything, come from your camper, come outside. I've got stuff with tools in them. They're just a great little project to do, and we did this out of pallet wood. But now we need to put a bit of a finish on there. And I know that if you've watched a lot of my videos, I'm a big fan of the rub-on polyurethane. And I just find that it's got a really nice finish. You can put it on without having to have a bunch of overspray, and it's easy to apply, and I really like the finish. This one here happens to be a satin, so it's not going to be that glossy at all, but that's okay. But I'm going to show you how I put it on. Now, I guess we should open this thing up. I'll be right back. Now, if you're one of those Zen guys, you know, you can just put a little bit on a rag, you know, rub it out, you know, stop, take a look at it, you know. I can't do that. I got time. I got other things to do. So, I'm going to speed this off. I like to get it off as fast as I can. But applying it, there's a simpler way to do it. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now, of course, you're going to need it. I'm going to use a spray gun. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to use a spray gun. Now, in the past, I've used a foam brush, and that works fine. If you're just doing one little project, it's not really worth firing up your little spray gun, because you got to clean it, you got to, you know, do all those things. Is a bit of a pain. But, you know, I used to put it on with foam brush, and then just wipe it off. I like these little blue towels. They work out really nice. But I think they should change the name as wipe off poly, because you put it on and you just kind of wipe it off. And the nice thing about when you're doing it this way, you're actually pushing the polyurethane into the pores. If you spray it, if there's a void, air will get into that void and actually push everything away. So if you're spraying something, you actually don't get as much penetration if you don't put, you know, a brushed on first coat or something. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go get my spray gun. Be right back. Alright, now I've got just my little spot gun here, and I've got it on really, really low. Just barely enough to get the urethane through and out. That's it. If you speed it up, then you're going to get overspray everywhere, and you don't really need to do that. So you can just barely hear it coming out. And then we're just going to take off the excess, even everything out. And as your rag gets saturated, you can move to different areas. And actually continue doing, you know, putting it on, because your rag is nice and wet. But if you put it on with the gun, keep it nice and thin, there's not much to take off. And we'll do the outside. Yeah, that's looking really, really good. Okay, we're going to do 2 coats. So we have to let this dry. It's amazing how much better everything looks when you put a finish on it, you know? Okay, just going to find a spot for this. We'll move on to the next. So we're on our second coat. This is dried for about an hour, and it looks good. I just like the color that it, you know, when you put a finish on, really brings it out, the green and everything like that. Now if you were to go with the water-based clear, probably wouldn't do that as much as what an oil base would. I'm just going to clear the whole thing, and it won't take very long at all. Got the doors open so it's a little cold. And you might say, well, why don't you just leave it? You know, it looks all nice and even right now, but it doesn't do as nice of a job with this stuff. You need to really wipe it down, and then it just evens it all out nice and perfect. And it actually does do a better job if you do that. Right back. I got the glove off on one hand here because I need one good finger to push the button on the camera. So the important thing on, especially on your final coat here, is, well, any coat, make sure you're going with the grain when you're wiping it off. It doesn't take very much. Because when you spray it, you know, you're just putting on just a real thin coat, and probably a lot better than using a brush especially if you're getting into the corners. The brush will leave a little puddle, and then you're basically just throwing your bare thing away. Yeah, this is looking really, really nice. I hope you really give this a try. Okay, I can take my mask off so I can talk to you. Now, one other thing I want to mention is, you know, this finish, even though it's it's an oil base rub-on, it's a really good base if you want to spray this, like paint it. Painting fresh wood, you do have to prep it up nice, whether you put some sort of a sealer on or whatever you're going to use. And this would work. You just have to make sure that it's dry. Now, first coat took about, an hour or so to dry. Wasn't too bad at all. Okay, I think we got this one just about done. I got one more to do, and then I'm going to show you the whole batch that I did up here. Alright, we finally got them all done. Finish looks great on them. I'm really happy. Now, as soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to take those rags outside and burn them. You don't need to have them combust in your garage. That's not a good thing. So I've also got these two boxes here. And there's that step project I did a couple weeks ago. Got it done. Thinking about painting it sometime, but you need to put some sort of protection on it. Okay, I just want to show you how I set up my gun. I just lift my handle on the vise, and that's how I slip my gun in there. If you haven't got a holder, you can always improvise. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you gather a couple tips here on what I'm doing, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.